Welcome to the Neighborhood Pulse with Kevin Callback. The Neighborhood Pulse. You know, wherever you are in life, you never forget the neighborhood. This is the show that talks to real estate professionals all about the real estate business and how to maximize your career. Join host Kevin Callback from Realty Executive Cornerstone to learn what the Neighborhood Pulse is. Of course, today, well, what I want us to do, getting started right. Kevin, how are you?
Good. How are you today, sir?
I am happy, healthy, and terrific. Thank you, sir.
I am blessed to be
It's
on
the trifecta.
As Dave Ramsey would say, blessed more than I deserve, right?
That's
I
it.
deserve, I tell you.
Freedom Friday.
Freedom Friday, break the chains that bind you, baby.
There it is, baby.
That's it. We got chains. Everybody's got them. Start breaking them. Break it. We are here with Roger Pickell today from Realty Executives Cornerstone. Just joined our office.
Hey.
Thanks for coming aboard. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
He's doing an amazing job talking to buyers, sellers, everything just going in the right direction.
Now,
right?
his business card says Realtor Extraordinaire. So that's
absolutely. Yeah, that's how we ordered them. I don't know.
They're actually kind of longer cards.
Esquire.
So Roger's coming on board, and as we had Jordan Parker on not too long back.
Yeah,
she had that same feeling. I think sure Roger's going to share it today of. Not what I expected. They don't teach you this in class.
This wasn't part of the licensing process.
Nobody said that, or maybe I wouldn't have done it, right? But it is an amazing market. We're coming off of a market, as everybody knows, that's been just super busy, and activity has been wow. That's all I can say about it, right?
Well,
now we're starting to transition a little bit. We're not we're plateauing. I like that word, plateau.
Yeah.
I think you used that in the green room.
Yeah,
as we're leveling out, we're not really up and down. Just kind of staying the same. Interest rates are going up a little bit. House prices come down a little bit. Affordability a little bit more challenging for people just entering the market, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people shouldn't be scared of the rates. If we take a look at the Treasury, numbers, we're back to where numbers were about 2006.
Is that when the market started to crash?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, Kevin. But we're back. But
this is an average.
Yes.
Rate.
So we're somewhere between that 6 and 7 range,
right.
Which to me is normal.
Right.
People
I've been talking to have been said 6 to 8 is really a normal rate.
For a home,
2-3% that we just experienced was right. We'll maybe never see that again, right?
Maybe.
At
least for another 10 years.
Because COVID is what started that. So if that's what we have to do again to get into those rates, forget about it. I'm good with
Yeah, I mean, before COVID, we were in the 5s and 6s. I mean, we were just hovering right there.
Absolutely.
Everything was fine.
We had about 1 year of a normal market, right? Because it was 2007, 2008, the market crashed. 2013, we finally hit the bottom. 14, we started rocketing up. 14, 15, 16, 17. 18, and the end of 18, we started like, hey, this is kind of a good market. 19, we're finally back to normal.
Yeah. COVID,
bam, we're off to the races again at a different market.
COVID shows up and
that's right. Or where's your cash machine? Because that's when the money started breaking for the realtors anyway.
Yeah.
We went from thinking we're not going to be able to sell a house anymore because whatever is the National Association of Realtors, Illinois Realtors. They partnered together and came up with solutions to get back in and showing people homes and stuff. And boy, it just has been amazing since.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about the National Association of Realtors is they're always working hard to help people get into homes.
Absolutely.
And fighting legislation and fighting things.
Fighting for property owners' rights, for sure.
Yeah.
And I am the chair for the RPAC, Realtor Political Action Committee.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see what goes on and what change can be affected by people getting involved.
Yeah.
So, and that's in anything you believe in. You should get involved, church, etc. So,
Mm-hmm.
So Roger, welcome aboard again. Sorry, we went down a little rabbit hole there.
That's right.
But good to have you here. So when you went to class, and you were excited, and you're like, all right, I'm going to get this done. And you went and took your test and passed on your first try. Congratulations.
Yep. Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
And you got out of class. What did you expect?
Well, I expected that I'd be, going looking for a job, kind of like a normal going here, putting an application in and asking some questions and getting some feedback. The assumption was that I was going to be an employee and that, or at least like an employee style relationship. And, I'd join the firm and leads would be brought my way and be going out and working with clients. That's that.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise. So a little bit different, right?
A little bit different.
And the fees that you've had that you've kind of seen come forth, is that something you were expecting, or
no, not at all?
Nobody prompted you about that. So
nobody said that you're going to pay.
Right, and pay you shall. And so there's a lot of fees out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get business cards, you got to get your announcements, you got to get, maybe get a website or whatever. We talked about a little bit or we'll be talking about this a little bit next week with Dave Clark, is stuff. Yeah, stuff. Is this is a business.
Well,
right?
Dave's a coach,
So
right?
Dave is a coach. Yeah. Dave's a coach. Amazing guy. And this is a business. So as we start our business, there's expenses with starting a business. And some of that is startup costs. So if you're opening a hot dog stand, or you're becoming a realtor, you're an independent contractor, you're self-employed, and you have a business.
Yeah.
So some of those fees involved could be, brokerage, business cards, the MLS, the Heartland Board of Realtors, charges a fee, which they all do, at least here in Illinois. They all charge a fee to join that, to have access to the MLS. And then there's the ongoing fees of maybe you have office expenses, or continuing the Heartland Board of Realtors, the Realtor Political Action Committee, the MLS. And so those fees keep coming every month. Yeah. So I would say, if you're getting in the business, I would say a good startup. Well, the fees monthly to continue are somewhere between that $300 and $500 a month when you're starting. And if you sell a house your first day in the market, first day you start, you sell a house that day, you're not getting paid for 45 to 60 days, right? So you want to set yourself up for success, and you want to start moving really quick, right? Yeah. So you want to learn as much as you can. And so some of the fees were surprised, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the mindset that you're going into business for yourself wasn't there. Again, the mindset was more of like an employee type relationship. And I think I probably would have accepted the fees and the information, everything that I had to do better if I would have been thinking of it in an entrepreneurial mindset, which I didn't, so it would have been a little bit less surprising. But as your analogy makes complete sense when you start to think about it. No matter what you can do, if you're going to be a landscaper, you got to buy a lawnmower, you got to get insurance, you got to pay for gas to go from here to there, whatever it is you're going to do.
Sure.
It's an investment.
Right. So, and I see a lot of people typically maybe keep their full-time or part-time job while they're getting into real estate as they learn the processes of getting leads and closing business, right? And you can't run before you can walk. You can't walk before you crawl, right?
Yeah.
So you have to learn just the basics. How do you navigate the MLS? How do you answer the phone? What do you say when you answer the phone, right? You have to have your brokerage name and everything you say, things like that. So when you say, hello, Roger Pickle, or Pickell, I apologize, Roger Pickell, you guys say Realty Executives Cornerstone, how can I help you? So, and every call you answer, personal or not, is supposed to be that way if you're holding yourself out as a realtor, right? Yeah. And how do you say that word? National Association of
Realtors.
He says it right. That's good. So
Realtor. Everybody throws an A in there. Realtor.
Realtor. We're going to Realtor? No.
That's right.
So that's it. So Roger's been doing an amazing job. He's jumped in both feet, getting involved. What's the first thing do you remember the first thing I says, this is what I need from you. Give me this. Do you remember that?
It was my sphere.
My sphere. Absolutely. And I'm finding that it's more challenging. Do you think it's more challenging or easier or harder to get that sphere information together than you?
It is. It's a little bit challenging. You start thinking about everybody you ever met and everybody, and then you start going through the list. I mean, if you just start brainstorming name, which I did, and it led me down a path like, I don't know how to get a hold of this person. So then you start whittling down the list to family, and then people you're in contact, friends, like close friends, not even people that you knew like 10 years ago. Like, I don't know how to get hold of them. So
right. Facebook is your friend.
Yeah.
Right? Facebook friends, right? So Facebook, and there are some tools out there that you can use. So we talked about skip tracing.
Mm-hmm.
Skip tracing is getting a name and finding them out. And once you find them out, find out if they're on a do not call list and things like that. They would call that getting scrubbed. And so you get your list scrubbed, and you have to have it done fairly recently, because if they're on a do not call list and you call them, there are fines involved with that, which are never fun.
So there's a book, Bob Burg. Now, Bob Burg is one of his most famous books is The Go-Giver.
Oh, yeah.
Right. His first book was called The Never-Ending Referral Source, which is a great, great book. And that sphere that you talk about, he talks about as a web.
Right.
So he says that every person has a web of 250 people.
Right.
That they're connected to.
Right. I hear you.
So as you're as I was letting people know that when I got into lending, NMLS 1255805 is how does that web look? So instead of a sphere where you drop a stone in a pond and it rings out, is okay. If I put in Kevin Callback, what's his web look like?
Right.
And I may not have Kevin. I may know Kevin from church, let's say, but I may not know how to get in touch with him. Is somebody in that web? Does somebody know how?
Right.
Yeah. And it helped me build my sphere or my web to help understand that it looks more like a spider web,
right,
than it does a circle, more or less.
Yeah. Kind of like LinkedIn. LinkedIn says first person, second person, third person. Like, how do you know this person? Right? How they connect to you, and that is definitely. And spokes are the other thing I've heard. So you have the windows when the spokes come back towards the center, which is you in the center, and then the spokes coming in. Like that is another way to think about it, right? That's kind of cool. But yeah, you gotta have your sphere, and it's more challenging for people than you would think, because like you don't know how to get hold of them. Your third grade teacher, you're like, I don't know, she's still alive. That's the first question.
So as we talk about that and starting right, and Ted Legal, how are you? Glad to have you with us, Ted. Thanks for joining us. As guys, nice to see you. And he shared this out, and we appreciate that.
He's awesome.
How do you when you're building this, and Roger, you just did this. It's been years since I've done it, but when you're doing this, what are some of the things? Because I remember I always had preconceived that they don't want to hear from me, and they don't really care if I'm doing this.
Right.
So as I'm starting to make that list and draw that web out or that sphere, how do you help people get through that mental block of, well, they don't care.
Yep.
So I'm not going to put them on my list.
We say, it's okay. No worries. Yeah. We'll get the next time.
Yeah, right.
So we actually have a skills assessment. Skills assessment is about 50 things and you rate yourself on a scale of 0 through 10 or 1 through 10, something like that. And it's calling people, talking in front of crowds. It's making, spending time on the internet, being able to time block, being able to, so all these skill sets, and you rate yourself. And once you get at the end is, you pick the things that you can improve on. How can I improve on it? Okay, I stink at this. And that gives us an idea, as their broker, is how can we help them get through that, right? And getting through making phone calls. People do not like making phone calls. People don't like talking in public. And people don't like calling strangers, right? And family and friends, I don't know why they don't like calling them either, but I think it's just because you're putting something out there like kind of like asking for a favor almost. But it's really not. Because a lot of people have questions that they don't know who to ask. They're like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't want to call a realtor. Then they're going to hound me forever and such, because we do. And everybody knows that. So we help them get through that by giving them some scripts, giving them the tools to answer questions when they come up. And initially when they start making calls is we'll be in the same room doing paperwork or working on the computer. Maybe we're making calls at the same time, but we're listening to see what they're saying and help them out. If that call didn't go so well, hey, what could we do better, right? So it's really about coaching, learning, getting them comfortable. And you make them call, 50 to 100 people a day is what they should do, is call 50 to 100 people a day, whether they know them or not, just keep doing it. and they say, well, I can't call that many people in a day. You'd be surprised how many people you can call in a day, and once you start doing it and you get it down, you become a machine. And if you can get through that rough spot, after that, it's all gravy, because then you say, hey, wow, I actually got. And when they start seeing the results, that's when it starts clicking. They say, oh, I called 100 people, I got 2 leads. I called another 100 people, I got 3 leads. I called another 500 people, I got 4 leads. And as their skills improve, that ratio should get better, right?
Okay.
Should get better.
Cool.
And that is pretty cool. So we do start, the skill set is something that we like to work on right away, and then a small business plan, because it's not their full business plan yet. I don't think a lot of realtors know what to expect. Right? Would you say? So we've talked about the business plan. We haven't done it yet.
Correct.
But I know you've looked at it, looked it over. And have you figured out how many deals you need to close to make real estate worth your time?
In a full-time fashion, I think it was something. It wasn't a lot. It was less than I thought. I think it was 2 or 3 a month. I think it was.
That's it. Yeah. It's a good number. It's a big number.
Is it?
It is, yeah. So, but we don't want to limit anybody, because if you don't think you can do 3 a month, then you probably won't, right?
Right.
If you think you can do 10 deals a month, then you probably will. So it's really having that mindset. So three a month is tough, but it can be done for sure. Absolutely. In this market as we're going into, you're gonna have a lot of opportunities to talk to a lot of different people, and the more educated you become, the better off you'll be. For sure. So we start out with things like, and this one here is from Excellium, Debbie DeGroat. As we talk with Dave Clark next week, we'll be using some of these resources, talking about those as well. Your business plan is right here, annual business plan. So this is if somebody was in the business for a year or so and already has made some income and such. But once you determine what you need to make, is you need to figure out how do you get there? So that's really the key. Is when we talked about it, it was, I need to make, you figure out all your bills. This is my must-have money. I must have this to pay my bills. And then you have the, what would I like bills, money to go out to eat, to go on vacation, whatever the case may be. And then there's the gravy on top of that. So, and then we determine what the average commission is. And then we say, okay, average commission based on needing to make this kind of money, as we do the multiplication, say I need to close 3 deals a month in order to make that happen. So now you can do that at part-time or full-time. And like I said, most people that get into it, a lot of people have part-time jobs or full-time jobs and do this part-time. At some point, you want to set a plan in place to transition fully into full-time. As you're getting started, you are the most popular guy in the block. Guys like lenders, home inspectors, title people are all going to be reaching out to you and trying to help you with, and definitely talk to all of them. Make sure you get to, so you started meeting some of those folks, lenders and such.
I have not.
Okay. So we met Kent. So there's number
Kent,
one,
yes,
right? Kent's NMLS number.
Who else do you? Yeah, 1258805. Well, who else do you need?
You only need one. That's right.
It.
One good one. That's it. I'll tell you.
He's got my contact info, so
that's right.
That's it. And if people wanted to reach out to you, how would they get a hold of you?
They can email me at roger@ourcommunityagent.com or go.
Roger with a D, RODGER.
My parents spent the extra money on the D.
Yeah. They paid per letter.
Yep. And then text me or call me at 815-276-9057.
Yeah, that's
awesome. Sounds great. That is awesome. Right?
And but you've got you're not a rookie. I mean, you've got some. You've dabbled. Right in
property management,
right. Flipping to those type of things. So it's not like you're like, I think this is a house, right? I mean,
yeah. I have one rental property. I've had 2 at one time, and I sold one, but I've had one for most of my adult life. I've actually had one rental property, and then I've served on the board of association for that. Helping making decisions and things like that. I even spent some time remodeling houses, so it helps me, point out some flaws for my clients.
Oh, see, that's huge. I mean, because there's a lot of people who, I was a stay-at-home dad for years while my wife, went out and made hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I just thought real estate would be fun. You know anything about housing? I know that I live in one.
That's right. That's it.
So you come with a good background and knowledge of the industry, from a construction standpoint,
right,
up through, which is very, very helpful.
Right.
Yeah.
And his full-time career is purchasing, so he knows how to negotiate and talk numbers and figure out people.
And for the past 13, 14 years, in a manufacturing setting. So research, when I'm trying to help a buyer, so researching homes for them, applying that criteria to my searches. It's kind of second nature to me.
Yeah, that's cool,
right.
that's a skill sometimes, Kevin, that realtors, it takes years to figure out and do.
Absolutely.
So I mean, everything that's led up to this, you getting your license, is kind of you rolled the snowballs to make the snowman kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's a culmination of all my experiences.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
There's a lot of skill sets people use in their everyday life that they don't realize would be beneficial in this career. And they've lowered the age limit from 21 to 18 to become a realtor. And that is amazing. I mean, you just see these young kids coming in, and they don't have a lot of experience, so they can be groomed to be the right, to do things right from the beginning. They don't have all these bad habits that a lot of us have already brought with us, right? So they don't know what they can and can't do. So to them, everything's possible, and there's no cutting back. So that's kind of cool too, right? Yeah. And that's it. And Roger knows that he can get it done. So that's kind of cool. Very cool.
That's to me, that's comforting. I in the past year, Kevin, you and I worked, and you've got 20 years experience. And the other agent that I worked with is part of a construction company. So there was a lot of good, wow, these people know the industry. Not just, I'm a good salesperson. I think that's great.
Yeah. And you have to have a heart for people. You have to have a heart doing the right thing.
You really do.
That. And, start and get off on the right foot. First thing you're going to do is get your spheres. So even before you get into class to get your realtor license, or you're just getting out, or even if you've been in for a while, dig up that sphere again. And remember everybody your waiter, your barber, your uncle's aunt, your uncle's aunt, grandma, anybody, hardware guy, Bob, whatever his name is, a guy cuts your grass, you have a landscape, whoever. Tell everybody you're in the business, give everybody a card, face to face, right? And you're going to give you some forms that tell you what makes a successful day. You have to earn 100 points in a day.
I love it.
And a listing appointment is, like 20 points. 25 calls is like 15 points. Yeah. Face-to-face meetings, door knocking, that's a point a house, so getting 100 points isn't easy, but it definitely will drive you to that success. And if you need those forms, we do have those, and we write them to you. Reach out to us at our community, or at the Neighborhood Pulse, and we'll get those over to you. Yeah,
just shoot an email to 216net@gmail.com. Put Neighborhood Pulse right in the subject line, and we'll get right there.
Yep. So that's it. So we have a lot of resources that you can use, and that the other thing we have is a calendar, and you've seen this it's from midnight to 9 at night, and you time block, and you write down what you did every hour. And if you're working from home and it's ate ice cream, watch a little TV, so every 15, 20 minutes you should document what you're doing, and then at the end of the day you tally that up and you say how much of that was money making time.
Sure.
Because you can get lost in researching business cards or business signs, ordering signs, or, reading articles about real estate. But those are great, very knowledgeable. You need those signs, you need business cards, but those are not money making assignments. So you want to make, how many phone calls, how many people did I call? How many people did I email? How many letters did I write? How many cards did I send out? Whose birthday was it today? Things like that are really the money making events. So. Yeah. And birthdays, knowing everybody's birthday is important. I've asked Roger his family's birthdays like 12 times now, but he's got a couple birthdays coming up in the family here. His wife.
Family's good. I thought you said he does. Wow.
Age quick.
That's right. Exactly. So setting yourself up for success is really important, and time blocking. We talk about that on a regular basis, actually.
Yeah. So you mentioned, Kevin, a business plan, a small business plan when you start out. How often do you visit that on a weekly basis? How often should somebody just in the industry go, well, I did it, and I have it. If I need it, I can pull it out of my drawer here.
Yeah. So when you're first starting out, we're checking on you daily. We're saying, how many calls did you make? How many doors did you knock? How many people were you in contact with? What'd you do today to make your real estate business better? And if that answer is none, then we got a problem, right? So, but your business plan, once you make it, you should be visiting that on a regular basis because you need to check it. We talked about goals before.
Yep.
And goals are great, but if they aren't written, if they aren't written down, a lot of times you'll miss them. You forget what those goals are. You forget what's important to you. And the other thing is, when you got a new agent coming on, that you got to figure out what their why is. What is your why? And I've asked you that.
Yep.
What is your why? Because that why is just, I just want to make a lot of money. It's going to be a tough road. It's going to be a tough road. That's right there. You know it. That's it. So definitely, if it's about making money, that will fleet away, and you'll feel empty at the end of the day. And that's the truth. Yeah. If you love working with people, if you love the job, if you know that by doing this, you can support your family in a lifestyle that like no other, if you're going to work hard and make those connections to grow to that next level, you've got to have a why that connects you to doing things that you're uncomfortable with, keeps you working late, keeps you working on the weekend, maybe takes you away from your family a little bit. Dave Ramsey says, live like nobody else now, so you can live like nobody else later.
Yeah.
So work hard now, stash your money away, pay off your debt, do all the right things now, so that way down the road when your kid wants to go to college, you're not like, I hope you get a grant, man. Sorry, you got all the student loans. Oh, you can't go. Oh, sorry. You want to set up for success, right? You got some beautiful kids. Another one on the way?
No.
I think we talked about that.
I think we're done. We're capped off at 2.
Yeah, what are you wishing on it?
Three coming soon, baby. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, my wife doesn't hear this.
That's right.
Better read those tea leaves.
That's right. That's right.
When I was a kid, back in college, one of my roommates' dad, he always said, you can work now and play later, or you can play now and work later. It's up to you.
Absolutely.
And when you're 18, you're like, oh yeah, right, whatever. And now that I'm 53, I'm like, damn, I should have worked then.
Right. I don't think you realize how you're going to feel when you get to our age. You're kind of like, oh, I should have worked harder.
That's right.
If I knew then what I know now.
That's right.
Famous last words.
Oof, yeah,
That's
right.
right.
Oh my gosh. They had. We're working with a client right now that her husband passed. Didn't set it up right and needs to downsize. She has to downsize, and it's sad because they're in there. They're in an amazing position right now. If they had the funds to remain, it'd be amazing. But when you don't set it up right, it's not good. So set your goals, keep to them, check them regularly, write them down, and make sure somebody's holding you accountable. Get a coach, get a broker that's going to ride you, get somebody that's is invested in you and your business and wants you to succeed and be the best you can be.
So on several shows, like In the Know with Steph and Joe, Innovative Strategies with Bill Haase, a lot of our business shows here on 21.6 The Net, they're geared towards entrepreneurs. And a lot of times they say, you got to understand what you're good at and what you're not good at, and find somebody to help you with what you're not good at. So let's take being a realtor, a new realtor, and let's say, and I'm going to pick on Roger, and I don't know this to be the case, but let's say that Roger says, you know what, between the family, between this, I don't have enough time to get in as much advertising as I think I should. And you visit with him and are coaching him, and you see that he's not. Is it a recommendation to, hey, maybe hire somebody that can do that for you? Or how do you help because you may be saying you're now getting off on not the right way, because
right.
This is part of the business plan. This is what we
Sure.
need to do. But then again, he's invested some money into this, and he's not getting paid for 45 days, right?
Right.
If he doesn't make
Right.
that, when the deal closes. So, do you recommend that? Do you recommend? Okay, yep, you're good at that. Here's an idea, or how do you help people start right if their weakness might be a big part of what needs to happen?
Absolutely. So I say surround yourself with success.
Yeah.
Who you surround yourself with are going to determine where you go.
Yeah.
If you work with somebody that doesn't show up to work, isn't selling deals, isn't calling people, is you're going to have a problem succeeding, because you're going to surround yourself with that.
Yeah.
And then what you don't know, you learn from those folks, because they're affordable. Most people starting out don't have a ton of cash to invest in. So you want to surround yourself, talk to the people you have, dig into their resources. And there's so much education out there, is learn how to advertise, take a class. There's so many classes on how to market on Facebook or Google or Yelp or in LinkedIn and Twitter and TikTok and
your realtor organization.
All the good stuff. Realtor organizations have young professionals network. You've got the Women's Council. You've got NAR, ABR, SRS. I mean, you get so many certificates you can get, and we require our new agents to get their ABR within the first 6 months. They have to have their accredited buyer representative certificate, so they know how to work with buyers and treat them right, and they're following the rules and the regulations and getting agency forms and all sorts of stuff done that need to be done when you're getting your license.
That's what I love about the business. You're doing it. However, now let's do it to the rules and regulations and laws, because it's a highly regulated industry.
Oh gosh,
highly regulated.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's for sure. Is there are so many rules, is you really have to pay attention to what you're doing, and if you're don't know what you're doing, don't do it. If you
don't ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, you can. But
sorry. Okay, here, let me have your license.
Yes.
Thank you.
And a check. Some money for you. And our realtor organization has a class called Jumpstart. Mm-hmm. Roger hasn't been to that yet, but he will be.
Yeah.
And they cover a lot of that information of what they need and what's available to them. And they'll have different people come in. They'll have a lender come in. They'll have a title guy come in. They'll Realtor Political Action Committee will come in. The Jim Heisler will be there to teach that course, most of it, and MC it, as he calls it. He says, "I MC."
Yeah, I also just want to throw out there, if you're watching on social media platform, look at that little update to the website up there. Is nice, huh?
There you go. I like it.
Look at that. Looks good, right?
Fancy.
Real estate you can trust.
Yeah, man, I love it.
That is it. You can put in neighborhoods. You can you can search there.
You can search, zip codes
at ourcommunityagent.com.
Ourcommunityagent.com. They'll get you there for sure. And if you know anybody looking to buy, sell, invest, give us a call. 708
the dynamic duo right here.
And if you're watching this on social media, like and share.
Yeah.
Share it, baby.
Like, subscribe, share, follow. If you know somebody who might be in the market to buy, sell, trade, or
somebody's getting into the business.
Somebody's getting into the business. Absolutely.
Help them out too. They don't have to be in Illinois. We can connect them with winners in their area. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's fantastic.
Okay. So the next question that I have with this, guys, is we're 7 months in. I've made a deal or two because I'm new. How do I know I got the right start?
Right. So if you wrote down those goals at the beginning and you're achieving those goals and you're going back to your business plan, and you're like, this is my business plan, these are my goals, I'm hitting those goals. You're being successful. You're achieving what you wanted, right?
Yeah.
If you want to have 3-4 kids or something like that, Roger, then you can.
You're going to be the Partridge Family before too long.
That's right.
I'm going to be working 24/7.
That's right.
You're going to need to sell some houses.
That's right. Working 3 different brokerages.
Yeah.
You can't do it, folks. Don't say.
Yeah.
That kind of place up. But if you're achieving your goals, if you're meeting those and your why is being met, then you're doing good. And that goal, your goals change over time. So revisit those and revamp them as needed.
Yeah.
And don't just be like, I don't think I'll achieve that, so I'll take it off. be like, that's still a goal. Maybe you don't succeed it right now. It just might be a little further in the future.
All right. Now let's play on the other side of the coin. We're 7 months in. I'm hitting my goals. Okay. But my beautiful bride is like, right. So the tough thing when I got into lending was the same. I close a deal today. I don't get paid till next month on it. Right. It's just the way the bank operates. Is I don't go to the closing, get a check, and go hallelujah. Right. They go, okay, we'll pay you next month. So I could close a deal, same thing, and my pay comes 30 days later, perhaps sometimes 15, but 30. Get paid on the second paycheck of the month, right?
Wow.
And that's a hard thing when you're commission. If your spouse isn't a commission employee, perhaps, and they have their dreams, goals, things too, but they might not go, oh, I see you're starting right. That's wonderful, honey. Right?
Right.
Yeah, how do you as a business owner, how did you get through it? How do you help people through that part of the process of being a realtor?
Yeah, that's it. Family's always first.
Yeah.
His family, business will always come. There's always the stories of, when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to be like, man, if I would have closed one more house.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, man, if I had one more time with my kids, if I, see more time with family, more time that I enjoyed doing something else, right? But you do want to work like nobody else now so you can play like nobody else later, right?
Yeah.
And that's the key is, and what just came to mind to me is amazing is, I think when people, they come and they say, I want to be a realtor, et cetera, et cetera. Great. Are you married? Yeah. Bring them in. Let's talk. Let's talk about what the business is. Let's talk about, what the expectation is and how much in that first 3 to 6 months you may not see your spouse. They're not going to be there for everything, right? And maybe they will. Maybe they're like, no, I'm going to be there for everything. And my business doesn't have to grow as quick. They have different goals, and that's great. But it's not a bad idea to bring a spouse into that interview of, hey, this is kind of what real estate looks like. This is how they get paid. This is where the money goes. Because when you get paid, so Roger sells a house and he gets a commission check, whatever that may be, he don't keep it all. The check, you're an independent contractor. So somebody's got to pay the tax man, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody's going to pay for the marketing, and somebody's going to pay for the lockbox, somebody's going to pay for the sign, somebody's going to pay your brokerage fees, your MLS fees, your board fees, so all that has to get paid before you get a check. And when you get that check, you go, that's not as big as I thought it would be, right? It's not going to be one of those big checks that you get when you win the lottery or Publishers Clearinghouse shows up. It's going to be one of those like, hey. It's going to be like, oh my goodness, what is this?
But if we go back to you own a dog food store or the landscaping, you've got that overhead. And for some reason in that type of a business or a retail store type business, you justify, I've got rent. I've got utilities. This is just part of doing business.
Right.
But in real estate and in lending, we go, what?
Yeah, who's paying all this money?
That's my check. And that is sometimes frustrating as can be.
Right.
But again, if you don't start right, you get frustrated with that.
Right.
If you start right, you understand it. You have that track and go, I knew it was coming. This is
our business. Yeah.
This is my overhead.
I think that was Roger's biggest misconception coming in was he didn't realize that it was entrepreneurship, that he was going to be an independent contractor, that he's going to be responsible for his taxes and et cetera, et cetera. He thought it was more of a salary?
Something like that.
It's like we would pay him. Now, there are some agencies that do that where they say, okay, what do they call it? When a draw. They give you a draw.
Yeah.
So they pay you weekly so you can get through the start.
Yep.
Your first check comes and they take what they paid you out of it and et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
But now, again, you could, depending on how big that check was.
A lot of lenders do the same thing.
Is you could be, upside down on that draw. So you got to get back
quickly, right?
Get back to that really quick.
Ted Legal says he's and we'll connect you with Roger. Says just looking for a new realtor and mortgage broker to add to my business network for my company. He does a lot of good stuff. So don't look too far. You got a couple of good ones right here. Let you know, Ted.
Come on, Ted.
That's right.
That's it.
Got my number, Ted.
That's right. What's that number again?
815-276-9057.
That is it.
I love it.
So you're how many weeks into the journey?
How many weeks am I into the journey? Let's see. I passed the test in July.
Yeah.
Took me a couple of weeks to get kind of going and things settled. I would say maybe 4.
Yeah.
Really into it.
So now, as we talked about in the green room a little bit, Roger, you and I, is like jumping in the pool's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden, oh crap, I'm in the water. Yeah, I'm in the deep end. So have you surpassed that oh crap moment and now kind of settling into your groove?
Yeah, it's starting to settle down. I'm looking forward to, I haven't got my business cards. I'm having this mindset, developing this mindset of like make connections, get those business cards. That's what I'm really hoping to get. So I can just, I'm thinking about all the people that I could be giving one, like, hey, guess what? And just talk to them. Because I like to talk to people face to face when I'm out there, just passing your conversation. So that's where my mindset is. It's on the next steps moving forward and getting that first deal.
Yeah. Ted says that the magnetic business card is a great investment. Every time you open your refrigerator, there's Roger.
That's right. Yeah. Roger decided to go without a photo this time.
Yeah.
Go without a photo. I don't know. I'm a picture guy. I like to put my picture on the card. But
I don't have mine on there.
Yeah.
A lot of people say too, but I like to be the man of mystery.
A lot of people doing like those caricature artists.
Yeah,
caricature.
So that would be great. I should do that for the station.
Yeah, that's it. So
great.
As you're getting started in your interviewing brokerages, I think it's important to find out what they offer and what they don't offer, and are you responsible for creating all your own business? Are they going to provide you with leads?
Yeah.
What the commission splits are? There's just so much to negotiate in that first when you join into real estate. And I think it's a great idea that you brought it up, and it's his idea. But I love the idea of bringing the spouse in and just being like, "Hey, what do you see this being?" That
was when I got into lending, because I'd always been in banking, but when I got into lending, that was the best thing that happened. Was all right. And you've been in a couple weeks now. Let's talk to Alice.
Right.
Let's help her understand how this works and what it looks like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then the buy-in gets there from her. Now, all these years later doesn't mean that it's changed.
Right.
As a mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
That's it.
If daddy ain't happy, well, that's what the garage is for.
That's right. Got projects. I got projects. I'll be in the garage.
That's right.
Building stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's just a lot to know as you're going into it, but build your business plan, set your goals, time block, and make that phone be your best friend and work it. It does work. And, make sure you get the opportunity to scrub the list as well.
Right.
And don't just email everybody, like get some list from somebody, buy a list and email it out, because there's a spam act on that as well.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure your lists are scrubbed. Connect with a good brokerage. Make sure you're ready for the work in front of you, and get committed. Right, committed in those goals. Right. Mm-hmm. So we're starting to write down those goals. Yep. We're putting our business plan together. We're time blocking. Sphere is most important. So even if you're thinking about getting in real estate right now, start building that sphere list, because the first day you come in, that's the most important thing. And I think was it you who said I started calling some of my sphere, and one guy says he's thinking about selling, and hey, I know a guy that's looking to buy a house. Or was that Jordan?
No, that was myself. I was discussing with it was my mom. She's like, "Oh, this relative of mine's looking to do this," and I was like, "Oh, really?" And then mention,
Yeah.
Right.
Probably the best advice that I got in starting into this business was, the person you're talking to doesn't need a loan, but they know 3 people who do.
Right.
So don't try to sell everybody that you talk to.
Right.
Because they'll be like, listen, no, I don't need one. I'm fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, if you are passionate about what you do and you just talk to people in that sphere, they, oh wait, you know what? Betty at church was talking about, oh, let me give me your card. Give me your information. Let me have her call you. Yeah. So that was the best thing that happened to me. And I will go to referral groups and things where lenders, well, the rates are, they just start spewing garbage that
right.
you're like, why are you telling me this? And the job, real estate, is all about one thing, not real estate, about relationships.
It is all about relationships.
And if you've got great relationships with people, oh, hey, let me introduce you to, let me introduce you to, let me introduce you to. And then, I'm thinking of moving to Florida. Oh, great. Let me have you talk to Roger.
Right.
I don't know if Roger is licensed in Florida, but he knows somebody who is, that can make it, Yeah.
Right. Yep. That's it. It's same thing as one of the terms I taught Roger is who else? So who do you know that's looking to buy or sell in the next year? So we don't put immediate because it scares them away. We say the next 6-12 months, anybody that's looking to buy or sell. Oh yeah, Betty from church is looking. Who else? Who else? And it's like, what else? We talked about that too. Like, what else can we help you with? What
Wonderful.
else? We always want to expand that business and expand what our services and our offerings. Yeah. And getting started is the most important thing you can do when you get into real estate. So do it right and do it today. Do it today. What do you think? Any final words?
I wish I could have listened to this 6-8 months ago. But no, it's interesting. The reason why I started doing this is, they have that mindset is like, well, when you're picking out what you want to do, if money wasn't an option, what would you do? Yeah. I thought, well, helping people get into homes would be great. Meeting different people, helping them through the process, because it's a lot of money. It's a big commitment. It can be scary. So, glad I did it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's stick with it, because if you're starting out and you're starting to get discouraged, you're starting to talk to somebody around you to get re-encouraged, tell them how you're feeling, have them build you back up, and remember that it works. And it's one of the most amazing jobs you'll ever have.
There you go.
And that's it. Feed 'em Friday, baby. Peace.
That's it. All right. For all of us here at 216 Net, thanks for getting caught in the net with us today. This is the Neighborhood Pulse with Kevin Callback. For more information on our community agent, how do they get in touch with you guys?
Call Kevin K at gmail.com. Don't forget the K. Call Kevin K. Roger?
Roger with the D at ourcommunityagent.com.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Thank you.